I'm Cutman. This is James Landino. How long have you been producing music?
I started producing when I was like 11 years old, and I wrote music for like games like Step Mania, which were.
I love Step Mania. I was a big DDR friend when I feed.
Dude, me too.
I was a DDR friend.
Yo, after this, can we do a commentary on like us playing DDR? I'm sure that'll go really well.
Yeah, this match is not going really well, not for me at least.
So I started when I was 11. Well, I got into the whole music scene because I wanted to write music for like games like that because they were open source, and I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I want to start writing music and creating content. So that's kind of how it all started, and I also wanted to get involved in video games, and kind of around the age of 15, I was like, wait a minute, I can write music for video games. That's like actually a career that I can do. So I pursued that, and soon enough, I am now working as a composer at a video game company called Harmonix.
They're the guys who did Rock Band, right?
That's right.
And they're working on something new, aren't they?
Yep, so they're working on a new project that I wrote music for. It is a reboot of a game called Amplitude.
I loved Amplitude. Oh my god, I had it on PS1? PS2?
PS2.
Yeah.
It was like one of my favorite games I had as a kid, and so it's kind of like this cool moment where like a game I played as a kid, I'm now writing music for.
That's so awesome. So when you were just starting out, what were you making music with?
I was making music with my Sony laptop. I had Reason.
Reason, huh?
Yeah, it was Reason 3 at the time. And most guys lately use Ableton, and I haven't used Ableton until like last year. I started getting into it, but before then, I was producing on Reaper. Like, does anyone do that?
Oh, yeah. So you're producing on Reaper, man. That's, tell me a little bit about what it was like producing on Reaper.
I really liked it. The flow of creating content in Reaper was actually really quick. So I could create like music in probably a few hours.
So Reaper really like gave you that workflow.
Yeah, exactly. I found out that Reaper, because it's a free program, is very buggy. So
I've had that experience too. It loads my plugins at like weird sizes and stuff, and I just freaked out.
Yeah, so I just
Hey, give yourself a name. We're not gonna know who's completely destroying Cutman, apparently.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna give you.
You gotta do the blue one. No.
This is what I feel like.
I did that.
I did the same thing. Okay, I'm not coming.
That's like me trying to use Reaper.
I'm gonna use my old Elias name. I'm gonna be KG. I remember one time I like introduced myself. Oh, this is my artist name. I'm KGZ, and you're like, that's a stupid name.
I didn't say that.
You did. You're like, that's a terrible name. You should change it.
I probably said KGZ. So you're KGZ. I can't wait to Google that. There's a lot of ways to spell KGZ.
Oh yeah. If you Google KGZ, it's like the abbreviation for like Kazakhstan, some country that I never heard of.
Oh yeah, it's like an airport code.
Okay.
Woohoo Island.
Woohoo. Woohoo. What's this, Pilot Wings?
Yeah, I love the original, but the N64 version can just die in a fire.
Really? You don't like it? I love it.
No, it's too hard. The first Pilot Wings is just like such a blissful, like calm, fun, like little experience. Like, oh, you got graded. The music's so quiet. It's nice. But the other one's like land on a dime with a jetpack in only 6 bits. It's too much.
Yeah.
How did you take my mallet?
Yo, get back over here. Oh my god. I cannot deal with Greninja. Like, I'm just not good at playing against them.
Oh yeah? That's good. I just figured you were Fox. We should do like a speedy battle, and considering
oh god.
Oh, come here. No, I mean, don't come here. Tell me a little bit about your new Shovel Knight remix. What was the process remixing Propeller Knight's theme?
So for people who listen to my music, I like chiptune. I love chiptune, and I've always wanted to combine chiptune with EDM. So what I decided to do with this remix was I ripped the music from Shovel Knight.
Square Knight, my favorite pixel game.
But so I took Vert released a .nsf file that has like all the stems of Shovel Knight, the entire soundtrack. So I was like, oh, here we go.
No.
You're going down.
No, we don't.
So I was able to solo the stems from the from the NES soundtrack, and from there, I was able to get there you go. From there, I could, you know, isolate the melody and everything else I want to take from the track, and then essentially just remix it with ease. It was super easy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because with, unlike the Zelda remix I did back in March, I had to recreate everything with sound fonts, and that was a very difficult project. Because you have to kind of, you have to make it sound, with a sound font, it's not exactly the same as the actual SNES, like how it's written in MIDI, so you have to recreate it. So there's a lot of creativity with it, but it's also much more time-consuming, and it's a little more challenging if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that Zelda remix, Link to the Future, Courage, is just totally awesome. Man, I'm just getting wrecked. You're like teaching us how to use Reaper, and here I am like, what's Greninja's down in me?
Well, the important thing with both of those tracks in particular is that I really want to make sure that no matter how creative or how different I get with the sounds I make, that I use very top 40 pop music song structure to make it feel like it's something that it's accessible.
Yeah.
And that's very important to me. Something that feels accessible but sounds different.
Let's play Wowie.
Wowie World?
Wowie World.
Wow.
Yoshi's Wowie World.
Actually, I feel like Nintendo makes a bunch of yarn games. They're like Kirby's
Yarn.
the
Kirby's Epic Yarn was also like such a blissful little like walk in the park game. I'm just if the point of this game is to just not get hit and be annoying, then I can do that.
It's like the most peaceful level. I don't want to fight you anymore.
Yeah, no, me either. I'm just like, let's jump around.
Didn't Kevin Villecco remix this song?
Yeah, Kevin did this for his Year of the Yoshi.
I love that album. It's such a.
That was the first time we collaborated too. Was on that track.
You're right. That was the first one we actually that we directly collaborated on.
Oh my god, I'm getting wrecked.
I remember the first time we never even talked to each other. You were like, it was for Chiptune Equals Win Volume 2.
That's right. You made that track Blue.
Yep.
And I was like, this track is great. It should be longer.
It was like a minute and a half.
And I was like, hey Brandon, you should tell that James Landino guy to finish his song. And he goes, I don't know, man. That's the way he did it. And I was like, well, I'll just finish it. So I made that little edit, and now we're friends.
Well, back then, I had no idea what DJing friendly things even mean. A year later, I started DJing. I got my first show in Detroit. It was with Pico Pico Detroit. Those guys
I love those guys.
Oh, they're awesome. They pretty much they're the reason I'm DJing now and kind of with Game Chops. I think that if I never started DJing, I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing now.
Well, I'm gonna get another sword, at least that.
Oh god! This blew up. Oh no. Just we need more swords. Oh, sweet the ledge, thank god.
I'll just drop it. No, it's fine.
There it goes. When I was a kid, I used to so I played tennis as a kid, and so I used to pretend my tennis racket was a sword, and that's why I loved tennis. I was like, I got a sword now. I was that guy.
Were you that guy? I'm pretty sure I was that guy too. What has been your biggest challenge that you face as a music producer, either with your work with Harmonix or remixing video game music or doing your own original music? What's been the biggest challenge?
I think my biggest challenge is, I would say it used to be making content fast enough. I was terrible at making content in a good, timely manner, and lately I've found tons of great techniques that I've created to just kind of really focus and.
You have two tails.
What?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, you have a coon tail and a chew tail.
Oh god. But yeah, so it used to be making content fast and on time.
I had 69%.
But now I'd say my biggest challenge is probably just making content that sounds refreshing, because I think for a lot of people it's always hard to create new content continuously. And there's always that temptation, in my opinion, to take stuff from old sessions and just copy paste it back into it. So for me, I create all my own patches, I create honestly all my own sounds, and that's always the challenge. Just I'll spend 8 hours creating new kick drums.
Really?
Yeah, it's important to me just creating that kind of stuff. So.
And then you have them in your folder. So next time you start a song, you have some kick drums that are yours.
Exactly. But even then too, it's even when I know I have kick drums that I've made, I still try to make new sounds, because for me, I always want each track to feel unique. And having a unique kick drum really goes a long way to feeling different, even on a very little minute level, you know? So that's probably that's probably was the most challenging thing for me.
Keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
So do you have some techniques that you can share with people for getting music done in a more timely manner?
Absolutely. So the thing that I share with people that really helps me out, and your Grid Ninja is having a hard time.
I know. I'm having a hard time in general. I'm not totally over my cold or whatever, allergies or whatever happened to me. So, look at that guy.
Dude, he's too cute. That's why he's the bae. So a great tip that I do is when I open my blank session in Ableton, Reaper, or Logic, whatever I do, I will always create markers. And those markers will have things like intro, verse, build up. I will basically map out the entire song with markers, so that way I know from the get-go how long is the song gonna be, what are the sections of the song gonna be. And the best part is, if I want to change it, if I'm like, no, I don't want to make this verse 8 bars, I'll make it 16 bars. It's just a marker, I'll just move it. So it's a great way to just structure a song out without spending really any time at all. And it really helps, because for a lot of artists, I always hear them be like, I made a minute-long work in progress, and now I'm like, I don't know where to go with the next.
That's my problem with all my original music. It's either a progressive thing that I just made it the correct length because that's how many bars I could fill with the material.
Exactly. So if you have your mark right now, oh, I guess I'm doing a build-up next, it's your question's already solved. Wait, that was me? No! So,
stay away.
That's one great trick. Another good trick that I like to do, is I like to do, I'm very task oriented. I know some producers aren't like that, but I like to be like, okay, so if I have a week to make a track and have my deadline's in a week, I'll be like, all right, I have 1 day to make sounds. I have 2 days to, you know, write out the track in a rough draft form. I have 2 days to mix it. And if I do it like that, if I have hard deadlines and I stick to them, I'll be more committed to make sure I create something by that time.
Oh, that's awesome. So I just want to clarify the first tip you had. You like block out the structure of your whole song before you've even like written it?
Absolutely. So, oh God, don't dare get me. So, I'll structure everything out, like, and you don't even need markers. I'll, you know, like sometimes I'll take a piece of paper and write everything out. But it's like,
Paper, wow.
I know, what's paper? Oh, I'm sorry, get your iPad and whatever. But it really goes a long way. Oh shit, it's tiny now. Oh, and you have to double smash! Oh God, I'm so gonna lose this. Oh God, I'm gonna fight you anyway.
Finally!
It just goes a long way to just feel like you know where you're headed, even if you aren't sure exactly where you want to go. Anything to just get something down.
Get that structure down, so you're basically filling in the blanks rather than being like, well, what do I do?
Exactly, and I know for some people like myself, before I did marker stuff, I would like, okay, I'm in this new section, let me get my piano out and like, just like keep playing for an hour.
Oh yeah, I've done that so much.
You noodle forever and it's just like, you can't, it's a trap. It's a same thing with synth patches, like you'll be in a trap like for like spending 4 hours in the same patch, you're like, this isn't quite good enough. Let me change this compressor down, let me change, you know,
yeah.
You get trapped in this.
So, who's your main?
My main?
Yeah.
Probably
yeah.
Fox.
Okay, my main is probably Mac. So let's do one last fight. I'll be Golden Mac.
I'll be Wolf.
Wolf Fox.
Wolf Fox.
And let's do Temple. Even though it's like kind of a weird one, it'll be
That's
fun.
fine. Let's do it.
This will be a final match. Now, we talked a little bit about some techniques, but this is a question that I always like when I do interviews, so I'm gonna ask it to you. Do you have any advice for young people or young producers, people who are new to it, for getting into either remixing video game music or producing dance music? Little words of wisdom, you know, that you could offer.
Words of wisdom?
Getting into it.
Words of wisdom is key. There's tons of advice I could go. I could go on forever, like on the highest level or the smallest level. But I'd say the most important thing that I feel like a lot of people kind of lose track of is they forget to love it. Like I think a lot of people get caught up in like, especially nowadays, like it seems like it's more about like social media and like your presence as like an artist rather than like actually creating content. And I think for a lot of people, they get trapped in like, oh, this guy has 1,000 followers, and why don't they like me? This guy has more followers than me. I'm, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so
I hear that a lot from my friends and from people online, and it's like, that stuff doesn't matter so much if you're making music you like it. Goodbye.
Goodbye. You're just. So for me, it's like you have to love it because that's why you're doing it in the first place. If you know. You can love it and make money, and that's great. Like that's like the dream. So like never lose sight of the fact that you came in this to love it. You should continue to love it, and that's probably the biggest thing I would say. It sounds cliche, but
yeah.
But otherwise, keep writing. You know, keep writing music. You know, it's okay to evolve. It's okay to change. Don't feel like you have to conform. In fact, in my opinion, nowadays it's better to write music that people probably never heard before, because that's what makes you stand out on things like SoundCloud and social media and YouTube. There's just so much music now. So
it's true, yeah, and the barriers to entry are like lower than ever, so anybody could be producing.
Exactly. And so if you like for me, like I never listened to a lot of music until like I started DJing, but like I got my sound as a producer and what I liked as, you know, I found why I liked being a producer and the way I like to write music. I found it, I think, naturally because I kind of just, I didn't listen to a lot of music, so I only had my own inspiration to kind of.
So you weren't imitating your influences as much as somebody who maybe listens to music 8 hours a day. Like,
I mean, maybe
I do.
I mean, maybe I was subconsciously because like my inspiration was like video game music before like, you know, EDM music. So I mean, essentially like, there's tons of cool music that you can.
Oh my God! You. Can
Oh God! There you go. Oh, Cage's 8. Oh God. So yeah, at the end of the day, just have fun with it.
That's awesome. That's a good lesson, and more things that I think people need to remember. You know, if you get into music because you like writing, because you like mixing, to add to that, I think it's important to be honest about what you're good at and what you like to do. Because for a long time, I felt a big pressure as a DJ to write songs because I thought that's what I needed to take my DJing to the next level is to also be like a producer with songs on Beatport. And I tried some stuff and I got some stuff on there and it just wasn't, it was a real struggle and I don't really like those songs. So, and the process was like kind of a struggle and it kind of made me like hate it a little bit. hate the whole music in general.
Yeah.
So when I was honest with myself, and I was like, I like remixing video game music. I like producing songs with my friends, and I like the actual act of mixing and mastering. I started to have a lot more fun, and I started to see more success too. So I think it's important to to remember why you got into this, and to make sure that curry is wrecking.
Yo, this is what? Oh my god! I will never die. Ow! This is it. This is the one right here. Your KO move will never. How do you kill me with the KO move? Oh my god!
It's too dangerous down here.
This is it. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh my god! Look at your dam. Your dam.
Oh no!
Ah! So close.
No!
Ah.
I guess you're the winner this time.
GG. Good game, James.
Good games.
I'm Cutman. This is James Landino. Be sure to check out his tracks and his Bandcamp. I will put links in the description. Thanks so much for watching.
See ya.
Bye.